All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. This is part 2 of the Serpentine belt conversion, harmonic dampener replacement, power steering pump swap, whole thing on the 3000 GT drift car. So we got some parts in today. I'm waiting on one more part to come. The other day I put the new power steering pump in. It's pretty easy, just reverse the steps in my last video of taking that one out. I got the lines all hooked back up. I had the car jacked up, turned the wheels from side to side, topped off the fluid, bled it all out. We're good to go there. Today, my replacement harmonic damper from Dorman came in, and this is the Serpentine belt, so no longer the V-belt style, just like the power steering pump is now Serpentine instead of V-belt. So we have that inner pulley portion with the four rib belt for the power steering, and then our typical outer. And then I got the associated belts. Now this belt here is for my AC deleted car, so this is going to be a little different than what the stock 3000 guys are running. But then I just have a regular power steering belt for a Serpentine car, so 4 rib, all that jazz. Grab those today, AutoZone. So the only part that I need to come in, which should be here tomorrow, which if it does come tomorrow, you guys will see in this video, is the tensioner for the power steering pulley. So I had to replace this tensioner, the V-belt tensioner, with one that has the 4 ribs. So right now what I'm gonna do is pop this wheel back off, get the car up in the air, and get the harmonic damper on, get this bolt threaded in, won't necessarily torque it, and then get the belt onto the alternator, basically get that all tidied up, and then also put the belt on the power steering side of it, because it has to go inside of the outer belt, so that once the tensioner comes, it's kind of just slapping it all together, and we should be in good shape. So let me get this raised up, and then we'll get under the car. All right, so under here we have the spot where the crank pulley goes, around the crankshaft. So on this wheel for the timing belt, we have this little pin, and basically what I'm gonna do is just get a little dab of grease and put it around that pin, just so that the crank pulley slides on easily. And then I'm just gonna do a tiny, like the slightest little film of grease on the crank, or actually on the face of that pulley, but not on the timing belt, just to make sure the pulley doesn't ever get stuck on there. So with the crank pulley in position, I can just start threading that bolt back into the crankshaft, and we'll get that torqued down. So with that guy snugged up, I'm just gonna feed the power steering belt up around the pulley, up there, so that, oh, we're making an attempt to. I'll put it behind the crank pulley at least, because that's kind of where I need it to be. And then belts are always such a pain to work with when they have like the fold in the middle from being in the box. All right, guys, it's the next day. We're picking back up, and thankfully AutoZone delivered my power steering tensioner pulley. So going V-belt, Serpentine, we're gonna get this thing slapped on. Everything is buttoned up, everything is tucked up out of the way, and you know, and tight. I got the tensioner right there installed and all tightened up. So I guess now it's time to start this thing, and I'm gonna, you know, keep my ankles far away just in case, you know, a crank pulley comes flying out of here. So let me prop this camera up, and we'll try and give this thing a start. Everything looks good under here. All right, so we got this thing all put back together. I heard a little bit of a noise coming from like around the top area. I don't really know where it was coming from, but I used the long screwdriver and I was kind of poking around. And when I had the screwdriver down on the timing mark guide on the lower timing belt cover, that's kind of where I heard it the most. So I don't know if because the cover got a little chewed up, if it was just rubbing on the crank pulley, but it seems to have gone away. Everything seems good with the belts. Everything is still, you know, tensioned. I pulled the timing belt cover off, made sure the timing was still in check, so that was good. So, you know, it doesn't seem to be an issue now, but everything's put back together. I also used some leftover header wrap from the V and wrapped this pipe back here, this intercooler pipe, because the heat coming off of the exhaust here was melting my throttle cable sleeve. And I bent the heat shield over, but a lot of heat just comes up through there. So I ended up wrapping this pipe to help insulate it so that it doesn't get the charged pipe air as hot over top of the exhaust and then coming through to the intercooler. So a little bit of insulation there, but it seems like everything is okay. I'm gonna throw the side engine cover back on, get the wheel back on here, tighten the rear wheels from when I bled the handbrake, and then try and take this thing out and then take it for a ride around the block and make sure everything is running all right. I'm gonna wrap the video up here, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope this little Serpentine conversion helps some of you guys who are diagnosing any issues or swapping the crank pulley and whatnot. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We're going to the Freedom Factory August 13th, and I'm really excited. Hopefully, you know, this thing does me good for the event. I'm just gonna tidy up a couple more radiator shroud pieces and things like that, but we should be in good shape, and then just do some fluids. So thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button, the bell, all that jazz. Drop a comment below, and I'll see you in the next one.